Hello and welcome to the Seamless.AI daily training webinar. We are really excited to get things kickstarted here in just a few moments. So we just want to say thank you to everyone who has joined us and look forward to sharing a demo with everyone. So just getting things here started momentarily, as I mentioned, we'll give everyone a few minutes after the hour, but looking forward to running through a demo with all of our group here today. We're going to be touching base on some of the highlights of Seamless, best practices, tips and tricks, and just the things that we've learned from our power users, as well as the way that we've developed the app to give you the best possible path to succeeding and the most optimal solutions for using the Seamless.ai platform. So we really look forward to everyone joining and contributing here today. And on that note, in terms of contributing, if you have any questions or if there's anything that you want us to clarify as we get started here in about 1 or 2 minutes with the daily webinar, a really easy way to do that. So at the bottom of your Zoom window, you will see that there's a Q&A button. So within that Q&A button, the main thing that you can do there to get in touch with us is just click that. It'll open up a little text box and then type in any question that you might have around the product or around the demo, if you want us to go in deeper in any area, or if you want us to clarify anything or cover something that potentially maybe we hadn't covered yet in the demo. Just feel free to type right in there in the Q&A, and both myself and my colleague David Toll, who's also on this webinar with me today, we'll go ahead and do our best to make sure that in the process of the webinar and while we're going through, we outline that demo. David will call out any Q&As that come up so we can make sure we cover those, and then we'll also type you back a response as well, in addition to any useful help articles within our help center, anything like that you might find relevant. So again, just really looking forward to getting things kickstarted. Typically, we start around 4 or 5 after the hour, as this is a group training. So we'll give everyone just another minute to filter in here today. We are really, really excited to get started here in just a moment. And I did mention earlier that David Toll is also with me. David Toll is our Director of Customer Success. So he works closely with all of our customers. He leads our success and our support team. So as you have any questions, we'll go over how to best contact our support team and our success team. So that way, coming out of this webinar, if anything does pop up, you'll know exactly what to do to make sure that you get your questions answered, or you can get any more details that you might need. But hopefully, coming out of today, you'll be armed with a lot of tools and a lot of techniques to be successful with using Seamless and to build your pipeline and find hundreds or thousands of contacts here very quickly and efficiently to be able to continue your marketing and outreach. I myself am Jake Phillips. I'm the Vice President of Product here at Seamless. So I work closely with David and our success team to make sure we're building the right new features and building out Seamless to be as useful and as effective for our customers as possible. But I'm also working closely with our development team and making sure that we execute these things as best we can and stay on our roadmap. So we're always looking for insights. I mentioned reaching out to our help center and our support team to ask us about any questions that you might have on the platform, but also any requests that you might have to make the platform better, to add efficiency to your workflow. We're always looking for opportunities to improve what we're doing here at Seamless. So if there's anything that comes up, feel free to reach out to us as well. I'll go ahead and at this point, I'll just give David a little high five here. So David, are you with me? Can you hear me?
Sure can, Jake, loud and clear. Thank you for getting things started for us. I'm excited to run through any Q&A that pops up through the course of the webinar. For everybody who's joining today, you really couldn't ask for a better guide. Jake has been the steward of our product for a long time now, and I'm excited to see what we cover today based on your questions. And as Jake mentioned, on the customer success and support side, we are here to help with anything you need down the road after today's webinar, and we want to make sure you can run pretty self-sufficiently, but at the same time, we welcome any ideas. Most of the enhancements and feature requests we've made have come from customer feedback. It's the benefit of being the first across the finish line in the way that we're using real-time search to get you sales lead data. We get to work closely with customers like you to understand how to move the platform forward. So we really do hope that you provide us with new and exciting ways to use the platform that maybe we hadn't thought of enough yet or hadn't thought deeply enough about yet. So please consider it a multifaceted conversation on that front. As Jake just pointed out, we'll have guided tours throughout the program. You can see right there as he pulled up the quick tour right there. Anytime you click on that tour icon, that's going to run you through a quick in-app kind of chatbot style tour of how to use it. So we want you to be as self-sufficient as possible. But yes, Jake does a great job as a product leader, making sure that customers have a voice at the table.
Awesome. Thanks so much, David. And just to validate too, you can see my screen, correct? You acknowledge the product tour, so I'm assuming so.
I sure can. Sure can. Exactly.
All right. Yeah. Great. So we'll go ahead and get started here with the tour and the demo. So as David mentioned, throughout the in-app experience, we do have product tours that will walk you through how to use Seamless and some of the elements of the Seamless platform. So if you ever have any questions, clicking that tour button in the top right corner, you can see here, that's how I open this, is a great way to do that. We'll do this when you first load the page as well to make sure you're fully acclimated with the experience. But you can also always re-engage that by clicking that tour button, and we'll give you a tooltip walkthrough. So to begin the demo, I always like to just kind of click the tooltip walkthrough, and this really highlights the core elements of the in-app experience within Seamless. So you will see here on the left side, there is an enhanced search in the left navigation. So we have find contacts, find companies, the ability to do both within the Seamless platform. We have all the different criteria that you can search for. So you can search for companies, titles, keywords, and names. And I saw actually referencing in a chat that somebody had put in the chat earlier, is Seamless, the Chrome extension that we have for Seamless, is that required to use Seamless? So actually, Seamless can be fully utilized within our in-app experience and completely agnostic to the Chrome extension. So we have the Chrome extension, which we'll go over here in about 20 or 30 minutes, as basically the other element and the other side of how to search using Seamless. And you can search across LinkedIn. It's a very strategic and it's a very well-utilized element, but it's not required to be able to operate within the Seamless platform. We do have a lot of power users that love to be able to use that. So if at all possible, I would definitely recommend using the Chrome extension. But if you have any reasons for one reason or another where you have limitations on the Chrome extension, first I'd recommend reaching out to our support team to see if they can help you work through any shortcomings there because of the benefits of having both the platform and the Chrome extension. But if for some reason you just can't simply use that, you can use Seamless within your web browser and not have to use that Chrome extension at all. So that is, just wanted to clarify that before we got into that. But you can see here we have an enhanced search. Once you put in your search criteria, you can simply click the search button. That'll search for items within Seamless, return them right within our results. You can also use social search, which will open up our Chrome extension, which will open up LinkedIn. Then the Chrome extension will be able to find contacts across LinkedIn, LinkedIn Standard, LinkedIn Sales Navigator. As long as you have that Chrome extension, it's a very similar experience across the two. It just depends on where you're finding contacts from. So if you click that social button, that'll actually just open up LinkedIn with the criteria that you've put in here in the left-hand column, and it'll be kind of a quick update to get you right into LinkedIn so you can start searching there. You can see here you can either find contacts or find companies. There's two ways that you can find contact information within the Seamless platform. You can start by building a list of companies and then find contacts. I'll show you how to do that. Or you can go directly into contacts if you have a named list of companies. So those are the two solutions within the Seamless.AI platform, in addition to using the Chrome extension. We have our search results screen, which we're on right now, which we'll go over momentarily. And then anytime you click the Find button, which I'll show you, that will then add contacts into your My Contacts if you are finding a person or a contact. And if you click Find on a company, that will add them into your My Companies. So My Companies, My Contacts are essentially a database of contacts that you have that will simply grow and grow and grow as you add contacts and you add companies by clicking that blue Find button, which will be in-app as well as across the Chrome extension. So both of those things are great ways to build contacts and company lists. And then they'll all end up in your My Contacts and My Company. So you have one centralized location where all that information compiles into. And then from there, you can manage it, you can download it, you can import it. So that's where you do a lot of the review, the import, the export, delete if you want to keep a clean list. But we'll go over that momentarily as well. And then I mentioned the Help Center as well previously. You can click here to open up the Help Center. I'll do that now, in a moment just to show you kind of everything that we have. But that's a great solution for you coming out of this meeting. If you have any questions, it's fully keyword searchable. So that will allow you to get answers really quickly and then also get quick access to our support team if you can't find the answer within our Help Center. And then as you dive in, you can get started really quickly. So I'll go ahead and just click on one of these so you can see exactly what Seamless does. So when I clicked on those search starters, essentially what happens here is it automatically loaded in Salesforce and the VP of Marketing. So this was an example of a search that you can run within Seamless. So I clicked that, it loaded that in, and this is showing you exactly what Seamless can provide you. So one actually interesting thing here, though, is that you'll see that there is one contact with a find button and a couple of contacts on this page already that have contact information. So what Seamless does is if your contact that you've already found has been added to your My Contacts, it will show you that contact information you've already located so you don't have to find them again. So if I'm running a search and I've already found that contact, it's going to show up with that contact information right in the search results. And if I haven't already found that contact, it's going to show up with this find button. So I'm going to go ahead and click that find button. And now what it'll do is it'll research in real time. It'll research and validate all that contact information, phone numbers, email addresses, locations, websites, basically all the data you need for core outreach to be able to connect with other people. And then it sends that right out there. So you instantly have that, and it's researched and validated contact information. So if I go to the next page, you'll actually see that this page, I haven't found these people yet. So these people aren't yet in My Contacts. That first page, I've been previously demoing, so I click the find button. Those people appeared already. But if you haven't found contacts and you run a search result, largely this is what your page is going to look like. So all these find buttons, you haven't found contact information. Here's actually one that I did find. So you see the difference between if you've already found them versus you haven't found them yet. And so after you put your information in here on the left, so I'm searching for contacts, you can start with one of the search starters and it'll preload those, or you can add anything else you want in here. So you can put anything you want here. So, we'll put Nike, we'll put Marketo, just as some examples. And then we're going to give you some search type aheads as well to give you some ideas of kind of what kind of content you could be looking for. So you can add the companies, add different titles here, different keywords, and different names. So keywords work a little differently than titles. So titles, you'll see that I'm searching for VPs of marketing. So everybody who's coming back has the title VP in marketing in there. We're going to look up vice president as well as VP. So we're going to do some synonym matching. If you put in VP, we're also going to look for vice president. We're going to look for EVP, SVP. Same with any other kind of abbreviations that you use. CEO is also going to look for chief executive officer. So we do look across and not just exactly in that specific title. We do a little synonym matching to try to make sure we're casting as wide of a net for you as possible to benefit your unlimited leads that you get with the Seamless.AI platform. But you can put in any titles that you want, and that's going to look up specifically a person at that title. Keywords are a little different because what you do with keywords is that you could put in something here such as security or healthcare, as you see, or law. That's not necessarily going to be a title. So somebody's title might not have healthcare in the title, but they may be working in the healthcare industry. They may have some, they may be a marketing person working in healthcare, or an IT person working in security. So the keywords are a great thing to use if you are looking specifically to cast a wider net around a category or an audience as opposed to a specific title. I'd recommend using those if you are looking to cast a little bit of a broader net there across that type of a subset of information, and not necessarily look exactly for a person at that title. Because just because they don't have that specific title doesn't mean they're not going to be relative to the conversation that you want to have in the product or market or services that you're looking to sell. And then names at the bottom. We do have an article around in our help center around utilizing Seamless to find specific contacts. So we have certain people who maybe they went to a trade show or they're going to a trade show and they have a list of names and they're looking for a person at a company as opposed to a list of people at a company across the title. So in this scenario, you simply put in the company name, the single company name, the single person's name. So example, John Smith, click search. We're going to return that result. You click the find button and then we're going to find that contact information. So a lot of different things you could put in here. You can obviously run multiple companies, multiple titles, find as many variants as you want there. But this is using Seamless solely without the Chrome extension. So you don't need to use a Chrome extension to use the native in-app experience within Seamless. And then once you click that search button, what we're going to do is we're going to return those results just like you see right here. So you'll see the find buttons appear, this blue find button. This is a core element of Seamless. And then at the top here, you're going to see two different buckets as well. You're going to see a find all button, and then you're also going to see another field. And actually, before you have anything set here, it's going to say set default list. So it's going to look like this. What this is it gives you the opportunity to set a list name that allows you to segment or categorize your data and your contacts as you start to create them. So for instance, in this scenario, say the list that I'm building of all my different companies and all my different titles is a data science list. So I've already created a data science list name. So I could either come up here, if I haven't created it yet, I type it in, I hit enter, and that'll automatically create that list. Or if I've already created it and I haven't deleted it yet using the X button, what I can do is I can select that list. So I can select that list, and now you see it says data science. What this means is that my default list is now set for data science, and anyone that I find at this point into the future is going to be assigned to the data science list. So this is set it, go find them, and they'll get assigned to that list. So if I click the find button or the find all button, those will automatically be assigned to the data science list. So I'm just going to click find all here just so you can see what happens. So now that's going to go in to research, and it's going to continue to research those people. And so you see as soon as that contact information comes back, it's going to populate in here. It's going to load in as we get that data back from our AI. And it's also going to tag that with the data science list. So you can see that that's actually been tagged right here. And as I referenced before, the other thing that this is going to do, in addition to showing you the contacts right here, is it's going to add them to my contacts. So as I jump into my contacts, now you actually see all the people that I just searched for on that previous page are now added to my contacts as well with that list name tagged. So we have all this information here showing you all that great information that we just, within a second, in one search, we're able to identify that person and that contact, and then load them all into your My Contacts. And then this is where, as you can see, you have a little bit more features and functionalities now that they're added to your My Contacts to delete them, to import them into your CRM, to download them into a CSV. And so we'll go over that here in just a moment. And then you see the list as well is already assigned to data scientists. So you can come here after the fact, you can change that list. But I wanted to really quickly highlight what this field right here does, this set default field, is that you set it and then you go find the contacts, and that is what defines the automatic tagging that the contact gets assigned to when it comes into your My Contacts. So we have basically mirroring functionality that we'll go over momentarily in our Chrome extension as well, in order for you to be able to set the list right within the Chrome extension, within the UI of LinkedIn as you're finding contacts using Seamless. But I wanted to make sure that everybody was clear on this functionality, because it is really useful for you to be able to segment your data. So a specific use case could be, as I mentioned, you're finding a particular list that is a category. So it's a 50 to 100 employees computer software. So you can create the list computer software, 50 to 100, and then you can go find your contacts. You have them all categorized, organized into that specific defined list, and then you create a new list name that is more representative of the next list that you're building. So it just allows you to segment and slice and dice that data. And then when you import it or you export it, you can either map that list name to map to a field, so you can create reports in your CRM, or it'll automatically show up as one of the fields in your downloaded CSV as well, So you have that so you can segment in Excel. You can do a pivot table or anything like that around your contacts. So at this point, I'll go ahead and just give a brief pause, and I'll look to David. David, have we had any chats or any Q&A questions that you want to bring up before we get into the next portion of our demo?
Yeah, actually, good question. And this times up pretty nicely, Jake, as we move from the act of finding and managing contacts using the app, and then the next stages of reaching out to people, right? And I think it's relevant to what you're talking about right now. A question coming in about a specific use case from a customer who, if they have a letter or a template built out that works as a pitch for over 200 companies, and they're looking for a way to contact as many of those customers as possible in a day or in an hour. It might be worth taking some time for us to set some expectations for the group today on, hey, on a daily, weekly basis, what should I plan for when it comes to how many contacts I'm going to be able to bring in as I map that out and start setting some goals for myself. So, it could be worth spending a little time talking about what do our power users typically see, what can they accomplish, and what's within scope. Using both the in-app search and the search using the Chrome extension too, because I think that's something that I'm seeing pop up as a question on a couple of fronts.
Absolutely, yeah. So 2 points on that. Before I see there's also a question that popped up in the Q&A that I'll get to momentarily. But the first part of that is in terms of what our power users do, or what our really success case studies have seen using Seamless is really the benefit of Seamless is that you have access to a massive breadth of information, and given your unlimited capacity to find contacts within the Seamless platform, that really allows, in any standard use case, you can go from, if you need 1,000 contacts, if you're very niche, it really depends on what exactly your product is and how you're selling to and how much time you're going to put into each of these contacts in terms of the outreach. So some it's very niche, it's very relationship, and it's more consultative. So you're going to need a smaller subset, maybe 1,000 contacts in a given month. Some it's more, I'm going to do bulk outreach, so I'm just trying to get out in front of as many people as I can. The beauty of Seamless is whether you need 1,000, whether you need 10,000, or even 50,000 or more contacts, you can do that in a given month within the Seamless platform using native Seamless or using our Chrome extension. So as I get into our Chrome extension, I'll show you kind of how easy it is to build a list using that as well. But I mean, typically we see the greatest success where you're in there daily leveraging the power of the real-time search engine. So, on Monday morning, you come in, you build your outreach list, and then, if not daily, a couple times a week, go in there, build another list of a few hundred or even a few thousand contacts. So that way you can continuously stay ahead and continuously also get on top of the most real-time information. What we see some people doing who have older database style approaches is, they'll build a list of 50,000 contacts and they'll use that over the course of the next year. The reason that we built Seamless is because it's a real-time search engine. So we want people to be using it consistently. So that way you're getting access to the most real-time source of data, because we're constantly going out there and we're updating our search engine with real-time data. So build your list a couple times a week of a couple hundred or a couple thousand contacts, do your outreach, rinse and repeat. The goal is to make this a part of your daily and weekly and monthly habits of building your list, and give you access to that information as effectively and as relevantly as possible, because we don't want to give you stale data. We're not a database that's full of stale data, and we also don't want you to pull a bunch of data that's going to go stale in the not too distant future, because we know people change jobs and things like that. So make it a part of your habit. And the other part of that too is that we actually are going to be integrating a income calculator that essentially will allow you to say how much in revenue do you want to make, either you as a salesperson for your company or you as a representative of that company, how much revenue do you want to make for that company. And then we are going to provide you with the amount of leads, the amount of appointments if you're a consultative, and the amount of deals that you need to close to be able to hit that revenue target. So we're about a week away from integrating that income and that revenue calculator, so you can start to actually map out, this is the amount of information I need from Seamless to be able to do the amount of revenue and amount of output that I want to do with the Seamless platform. So I know my kind of outline here was a little bit general, but when we launch that in about a week, it's going to be very specific to you, and it's 4 or 5 fields that you'll have to put in, and then we're going to give you all the data that you need to see this is how hard I have to be working, and then we're going to give you the opportunity to say, hey, I want to work a little bit harder or a little bit harder and make sure that I'm really hitting my goals and crushing my quota. So that's a really exciting feature that we're about to roll out here in just about a week. But that'll allow you to see exactly how much work I need to be doing to get the leads that I need to get to hit the revenue goals that I want to hit. And that's really what we're here for, and that's why we built Seamless. So within the platform, you can see that you can find contacts, so you can add up to 10 companies at a time, and you can add up to different titles and very quickly search through those companies by using that Find All Next option. So, I'll go back to my search just for another quick reference here. I'll go to Next. I'll click Find All. Those are all loading in. We're researching them. You don't have to sit here and watch them research. You can go to the next page. We're going to research them really quick, but you can go to the next page. We're going to load that page of contacts, click the Find All button, go to the next page, and just trust that we're researching those in the background. Let that page load, click the Find All button. So I'm seeing, I'm loading 10 to 15 contacts at a time here. So in a matter of a few minutes, you can get a couple hundred contacts within the Seamless platform. And as I'll show you, it's actually even a little bit more efficient to do it outside of the platform as well. So with the Chrome extension. So there's some really efficient ways to be able to build contact lists here and build company lists here. But just be habitual, use it as much as possible, benefit from the real-time nature of the Seamless platform, and get in there and build your lists that are going to drive you to success. So that's kind of a quick overview of what exactly you can do to be successful within Seamless. But the other thing too, there's a couple more elements of this My Contacts page that I want to highlight that I think will allow you to get even more out of the Seamless platform that's a little bit unique to what we do, as opposed to other databases that are out there. So this will actually show you all of your contact information right there. We're going to recommend the top information right in front of you. Anytime you click on a piece of information that you've already found, all of it is fully editable as well. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to allow you to modify that. So if you ever need to modify a name, modify a title, then you can go ahead and do that. You can also jump into the email screen. So we're going to give, or the domain, the website domain. So we're going to show you the website domain. We're going to show you the AI behind the website domain and everything that we found associated with that contact, so you can make those edits as well. And then the email and phone AI is another thing that is a little bit unique and interesting to what the Seamless.AI platform does. So we're going to, again, recommend the #1 recommended and related email address and phone number, and we're going to give you that validation. But to see a little bit behind the scenes, all you have to do is click on that, click on the email, or click on the phone number, and we're going to open up the company phone number, the contact phone number, and the email addresses. And we're going to show you all the data that we've been able to compile around this contact and around how we've identified this information. So you can see up to 10 phone numbers we're going to provide you with counts around the most statistically significant phone numbers, so that way you can see exactly the likelihood of those, and we're going to elevate based on the count and based on the AI that we have the most likely phone number. We're going to provide you also with contact phone numbers that we have related to a particular person. So we're going to provide you up to 10 different potential contact numbers as well. Again, rank ordered by the most likelihood for success there. And then the email address down at the bottom, we're also going to provide you with the most likely and most able to succeed email. So there's a couple things to note within the email address too that's a little bit unique outside of just simply a count. So we're going to first provide you the pattern count of the amount of times we found this particular email pattern you see for this name. There's a lot of different email patterns associated with this. We're looking up actually email patterns. We're doing exact matching against data sets that we have. And if we find exact matches in our data set, then we're going to provide you back increased likelihood that that exactly is matching data that we've been able to match against. But we're also going to do pattern matching across all the different combinations we can possibly find. And then we're going to do validation against those email addresses. So this column actually shows you the email validation that we do as well. So you can see accept all. What accept all means essentially is we've pinged the email server. We're not entirely sure. It's not a yes or a no, but it's this will accept an email. And then what we've done is we've gone a step further and we've identified that pattern. We've used our AI to say, a blitzer at salesforce.com is a very likely the best possible email associated for this person that will return to you. So the higher the count, the more confidence that you can have that this is likely a good email that you're going to be sending, because accept all, no one can tell you one way or another, absolutely this is a good email. So we've taken a couple extra steps in our AI to try to be as accurate as we can with these accept alls. You'll see a couple of different statuses here. Sometimes you'll see this say valid. When it says valid, that means there's a 99% chance that that is a good email that you're going to send, and it is that person's email. So if it says valid, that essentially, for all intents and purposes, means you're good to go to send that email, and you won't have to worry about a bounce of any sort. It says invalid. That means that we've checked the emails and we've gone through all the different patterns and all the different options that we have, and we were not able to provide any valid email address. So it's coming back, and that essentially means we wouldn't recommend that you send this email. But we're going to tell you that as well. We're going to tell you if it's good, and we're also going to tell you, hey, we tried and it doesn't look like we could find anything here, but we're going to go out, we're going to do our best to find that contact information. And sometimes this will say unknown. What that means is that we're going to continue to check on this validation status over the course of the next 24 hours. Typically within the next few minutes or up to an hour, we'll be able to return a validated status, but not every time will we be able to do that. So that's just one thing that I wanted to go over here. And you'll see here's the tour button again, so you can click on that and we'll walk you through all the different elements in this if you need a quick refresher on what exactly these mean. And then if at any point you jump into a tour or you have a tour that's been presented in front of you and you want out of that, simply click the X button and you'll be good to go. And there's nothing else that you need to do there. But we're right there in front of you to try to provide you with as much information as possible. The other details of this page is there's Intel. So you have a couple of items here. So you can see some social buttons. A lot of times, because we are a B2B network, we'll provide you with a direct link to this LinkedIn profile. So that's a great source to just jump in really quickly and see this person's information in terms of places they've worked, things they're interested in, and just some proof points for you when you go in to sell to build rapport and kind of build a relationship around. But real quick, when we're on this too, I will allude briefly until we move back. You can see the find button again here. So we'll go over this when we go in more deep into social. But the find button is on the LinkedIn profile. So this is actually utilizing our Chrome extension. So you could click this as well, and that would then return this contact information to my contacts. So this is just a quick sneak peek preview of how our Chrome extension actually works within the LinkedIn platform as well. But you can quickly and easily jump into the LinkedIn platform. You can also look across different social networks. So you can jump into Twitter, jump into Facebook, find some information about them. And then you can also utilize a CRM integration as well. So we have 4 enterprise integrations. We have integration with Salesforce, integration with HubSpot, integration with Outreach, which is a great outreach tool. I know, David, you'd mentioned somebody had asked about getting out there in front of people, and you have some good scripts, and so you want to load those scripts and send those out. Outreach is a tool where you can actually do that in bulk, so it's a useful tool that you can look at. So those are our 3 kind of CRM and outreach tools that we have native integrations with that you can go into our connected apps and you can set those up, set up all your mappings, and have one-click integration. So what happens here is I would click this, and then automatically we will go ahead and load that information in. We do have additional layer within our integrations as well. It's duplicate checking. So when you click the button to import, one thing that happens is we will actually do dupe checking against the contact and the company to make sure that it doesn't already exist in your CRM. If we do find that, what we will do is we'll show you this little alert. You click that alert. We'll give you the option to either create a new account or add this under an account that already exists. So I'm going to import this under an account that I already have. And then we're going to go ahead and continue that import. And then once that import is complete, we're going to show you the filled in CRM icon. So if you have a different CRM integrated, it'll show you a different icon here. But that means you're good to go. That data is integrated, and you click on that data, it'll take you right to that record. So this would take me right to Adam Blitzer's record in Outreach, and then this, from there you can add all those contacts in. You can add them to an outreach sequence, and you can send out your emails right there. We have Help Center articles around setting up CRMs, integrating that data, but a lot of native integrations that we have. And then one more integration that we have here, while I'm on the subject, I'll just go ahead and jump right in there. But if you jump into settings and then connected apps, you can see all these different integrations. And the other one that I want to talk about is Zapier. So Zapier is actually a tool that we use to connect our data with over 1,500 other platforms that you can connect data with. So what you do if you want to connect Zapier is you simply click Zapier, and that'll send you to get early stage access, because we actually just launched this about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And so we're really excited about this one. We've had a lot of really great early adopters. But what you can do here is you can set Seamless up to connect with any other tool pretty much that is a sizable solution, whether it's a CRM or it's an auto dialer or it's an email tool, be it Gmail, Constant Contacts, your phone burners and your auto dialers, or you have another CRM that we don't have direct integration with quite yet, like Zoho or Pipedrive. These all can be connected through the Zapier integration. So this will take you through a really easy and intuitive walkthrough, step-by-step overview of how to connect Seamless with Zapier. And that pretty much opens up your opportunity to connect Seamless with pretty much any other platform under the sun. So, while we have the 3 native integrations in Salesforce, HubSpot, and Outreach, we have thousands of other integrations at your fingertips with this Zapier integration. So something I definitely, if you do have other tools that you're sending this data to, I would definitely take a look at that. Both just look at the Zapier integration as well as go into our Help Center, type in Zapier, and you'll see some use cases in there of how you can be using it, as well as some instructions on how to set that up. But again, it is a very intuitive, easy to set up process to connect that Zapier interface. So the other thing that you're going to see is you're going to see the contact information around the location. So that, again, is fully editable. You can click in there and you can see that contact information or that company location information load in. And then the last item here is that contact intelligence that I skipped over briefly. So jumping back to this, this actually allows you to dive in and get a little bit more detail around the contact as well as around the company. And find some more information around how the company is performing, some financials, keywords, website audit information, tweets, social accounts, all that type of stuff. This allows you to dive in directly and actually get immediate access to some of the other partner tools that we found really useful as we're going through and we're prospecting and we're building up our sales pipelines, trying to build a little bit of intelligence around our companies. So we're giving you direct access to those things because this is data that we use as well. To be able to prospect our customers and to be able to build those relationships with our customers and get a little bit more information to know who to contact and what we should be contacting them about. So this is a really great tool to dive in and just check out. You can see we have intelligence around the specific contact as well as around the company that you can dive into. So a lot of really great information in this My Saved Contacts that you can get to immediately. And then, as I mentioned earlier, when you actually have all this contact information loaded in, there's a couple things you can do. You can manage those contacts. You can come in here, you can delete your contacts, you can select them on the left, you can delete selected, or you can filter them and delete filtered. So I'll go over filtering here just a moment. You can also import your contacts in bulk. So I showed you how to individually import a contact when you have your CRM set up. But the other thing that you can do is you can import that in bulk. So you can go ahead and you can select contacts here, import selected, or you can then filter down contacts using the filters and you can import filtered. And then if you don't have a CRM that you're immediately integrating data with through the platform, or you want to export to a CSV because you're going to use it and upload it in a different way, you can download all your contact information into a CSV. So you can see there's the ability to download all selected and filtered, just like those other management tools here in the top. But the one difference here is clean versus raw. So again, we have a Help Center article to help refresh you on what exactly this means. But essentially what it means is clean is a more succinct set of data. It's still a lot of data. It's about 20 to 30 columns of data that you're going to get back, all that core information that you're going to need But it strips out some of the other information that really is more useful for if you're just a data junkie and you want to see everything. You want to leave nothing on the table. You can use that raw version. Raw is about 50 to 60 fields, but for 95% of people, it's probably a little too much information. So most of the time, we recommend using the clean solution. And the other thing the clean solution is that it does is it actually removes the invalid data and it hides the invalid data. So you can focus on the good data that you get back from Seamless. So if there is any instance where invalid data may be showing up, you use that clean export and nothing will come through with any invalid data. So we're going to clean that up and we're going to make sure you only export the good data. And that's what's going to happen in that clean download. But the last thing here that I wanted to talk through before we move on is the ability to filter these contacts once you get them into your My Contacts. So what you can do here is you can click on any of these little filter or funnel icons, and we're going to give you the ability to filter by name. You can type in a name, or you can sort by company. Type in a company, you can sort as well. By email and phone, this allows you to sort by validated email if you want to only see emails that come back with validated emails, or if you for some reason want to just see all the companies that come back with a company phone or a contact phone, you can select those. You can click apply and we'll filter those down. You can also select the intel, and then that's going to actually target the CRM import status. So if you only want to import or you only want to see those that have or have not been imported, you can select complete, incomplete. And then if you do import and there is either an error for some reason that has come up or there's a duplicate warning that pops up, you'll also see needs attention as one of these selections as well. So you can filter just down to those that need attention if you've done a big bulk import and you want to just make sure you're focusing on those that need attention for one reason or another. And then in the list as well, I know this came in, you can filter down by the list. So the top button here is setting the list as default list to find contacts, but this funnel is actually filtering down by the list. So now if I want to filter down by only my data science contacts, I'll click the data science filter, click apply, and then Seamless is going to go out and it's going to filter down by only my data science contacts now. So you can see I have a smaller subset of contacts that have come back that are only data science. And then once you are done with that list or you want to move your list, you'll see that there's a little X button. So click that X button. That'll remove that filter entirely. And then you can continue on with your list building. But the other thing that you can do as well, as I mentioned, is you have your companies, you have your list, you can build your contacts, you can find contacts, you add them to your My Contacts. You can also build a company list as well. So I'm going to tab over here into Find Companies, and then I'm going to show you really quickly all the different company criteria you can find. So, you can add company name, but most of the time what people are doing here is they're searching by industry, they're searching by size or revenue or location. You can make your selections in here. You can even use keywords as well. If you're searching by a company in a particular sector that's not really, classified under an industry, or you're looking for keywords. And then you click the search button. So you see here I have computer software engaged. So then I'm just going to go ahead and click search. You can put in any criteria you want here, and then we're going to provide you back all the information here within our search engine. So this looks slightly different than what you see when you click search and find contacts. And the difference that you're going to see is you actually have two buttons here. So there's two things that you can do as you're building a company list, because as sales and marketers, there's really two ways that people operate. So one is I want to get the contacts right away. I want to find a company. I want to find the contacts under that company. Or I want to build my big list of companies, and then I'm going to come back later and I'm going to find my contacts. So depending on which way you want to do it or which way your workflow is set up, we have it so it can operate both ways. So the first thing that you can do is you can build a big list of companies. And to build a big list of companies, you just click the add button or the add all button. And actually, if you hover over this little question mark, you're going to see that we give you a little bit of more information around kind of what this does. Anytime you see a question mark within the UI, that means hover over it. We're going to tell you a little bit more information. But what you can do is you can click this add all button. And what that's going to do is it's going to add all these companies into your My Companies. So now I'm adding companies. And so now these are all going into my companies list because I'm building a big list of companies. So you can do kind of something similar as you were building your list of contacts. You could build your list of companies by clicking add all. and then next, and you can go company by company, page by page, building your company list. The other thing that you can do is if I want to find contacts under these companies right away, I can click the select button, or I can click select all. And so you can see here I have all my companies. I'm going to clear out all my companies so that way I can start with a clean slate. But then I'm going to come back here into my find companies, and I'm going to click select all. And on the left here, I want you to notice one thing that happened. So all these companies that I clicked, you see omniuse.com, Integrated Color Solutions, these are all added into my companies and find contacts. So when you click this select button, what's happening here is that we're loading the companies that you select into your find contacts, so you can immediately click to go find those contacts. So you can add any titles or anything you want here, and then you click search, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go find contacts under those companies. So now we're starting to find contacts under these companies. So I'm going to click find all, and then I'm going to click next. I'm going to click find all. I'm going to click next. So I'm searching under these companies, and I'm finding contacts that I can sell to underneath these companies. So as you're doing this, this is how you'd basically use the Seamless platform to find companies and then immediately find contacts. And so I go through all these different companies. I find all the contacts that I can find. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back to my find companies. It's going to take me right back to that page that I was on. I'm going to go to the next page. I'm going to select all these companies. I'm going to click the search button again. You see these are all populated here. I'm going to click the search button again. That's going to load in those contacts. So I'm going to go through all these contacts, clicking find all next, or clicking find individually. Then I'm going to go click find companies again. I'm going to jump back into my company list. I'm going to go to my next page of contacts, select all, kind of rinse and repeat that process. So that's a process that you go through to find companies and then find contacts kind of all at the same time. So that's how you do it within the platform. And I'm going to take the last 10 or so minutes here to show you how to do this all within the social experience as well. But as I'm doing this, as I'm finding contacts, those are all getting added to my contacts. As I'm adding companies, those are all getting added to my companies as well. So when you click that add button, those will end up in your my companies, and you can see you have the same option here, the select option here. So if I want to build my company list first, I can then come back to my companies. I can do the select option, and I can go through the same way and search for those companies just like I was doing individually. But that's one way you could do it. So then I'm searching for my contacts here, across Trello, which is my first company that I'm looking for. So you can either search for your companies and find contacts right away, or you click that add button when you're searching for companies, and then you add them to your my companies, and then come back later and do that same select and find contacts process. So that's how you find contacts within the Seamless.ai platform. And I will note that we are continuing to streamline the process here. So we're going to be adding within the next 2 weeks some features that is going to streamline that and actually simplify it a little bit as well to allow you to do this in a more efficient manner even within the app. But if we're talking about efficiency, the other thing that I want to note pretty heavily is actually the efficiency that you gain using the Chrome extension. So as you go through your setup, as you onboard onto Seamless, you'll be requested to add the Chrome extension. And what the Chrome extension does, as I mentioned before, is it gives you the opportunity to use Seamless on the LinkedIn platform. We're going to be enhancing the Chrome extension as well. It's in final stages of QA. It's going to allow you to use the Chrome extension really across the entire internet. So if you're on a website, you'll be able to click the Chrome extension and find contacts at that company on a website. In your Salesforce, in other tools, you'll be able to find contacts under key accounts directly within a flyout in your Chrome browser. So there's a lot of value added if you're able to use the Chrome extension. But as it stands today, one of the core things that you do with the Chrome extension is you search across LinkedIn, both on profile pages as well as on search result pages, LinkedIn Standard as well as LinkedIn Sales Navigator. We even have this working across LinkedIn Recruiter if you are a recruiter. And it works really the same way across all three platforms. And the last 10 minutes here, we'll go over this so you can see how easy it is to build lists within Seamless using this Chrome extension. So I'm going to start here on the profile page. So it doesn't matter how you get there. As long as you load that Chrome extension and you go to a profile, go to a search result page, we'll be there right along with you. You don't have to follow a certain workflow. We're going to come alongside you and live right there in the experience. So anytime you load a page, you'll see this find button. You click that find button, it's going to turn into view. And then you click that view button, it's going to take you back to your Seamless account, load up your My Contacts, and show you the contact information right in your My Contacts. So as I mentioned earlier, whether you find it in Seamless or you find it in the Chrome extension, you will be able to find the contact information in your My Contacts. So anytime you navigate to a profile, you're going to see that button. You can also run a search result. So I'm just going to put in, I'll put in some random stuff here. We're going to search for people. So I'll make sure we're searching for people. And then as this loads in, you're going to see similar looking buttons actually from our UI. So a lot of similar things that you saw in the Seamless platform, they're going to show up here in the LinkedIn platform as well. So you're going to see the Find All and Next button, like I was showing you in Seamless platform, or you're going to see the individual Find buttons on these profiles. So as those load in, you'll see those Find buttons load in. So you can click Find All, and what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down to the bottom of the page and scroll back up. We do that automatically. So that way, as you saw, as I scrolled down manually, the additional page content loaded in. So when you click that Find button, we're going to automatically scroll down to make sure all that page content loads, to make sure you're going to get all the contacts and not leave any on the page that maybe couldn't be seen at the moment. So click that Find All button, and then you can click Next. And then this is an easy way to actually, you put in your search criteria here in your filters, whatever that is, however that fits your search criteria, whatever you're looking for. Find All, it's going to scroll down. It's going to scroll back up. Click that Next button. And all along the way, you can see here the additional element of the list building that's going to load in here as well. So you can see the list is right next to you. So I had data science set. That's automatically going to show data science on that list. That is going to tag those contacts right there and allow you to build your list and tag contacts with that list. So that is using Seamless on standard social. And while I load up Sales Nav, I'll go ahead and pass it back over to David. I know I've been talking for a little while. So anything else that you wanted to call out that I haven't yet answered, or anything else that popped up in the QA while I start loading up Sales Navigator?
No, Jake, you were right on the ball. Almost all of the questions that came in were coming in as you covered them. So the stars are aligning today. No, we got a couple of good questions, and it was while you were covering it, right? Around integrations with different platforms and our roadmap for integrating other CRM systems like Zoho or Pipedrive. I mean, certainly something within scope. I sent a few folks some articles from our knowledge base on how to use Zapier in the meantime as a bridge to connect that data. But it's certainly something that we have an ambition to do, right? To connect to as much of your tech stack as possible to drive efficiencies. To tie that back into what you're demonstrating right now, Jake, the power user behavior that a lot of clients have demonstrated that's been really meaningful for them has been to work out of a tool like LinkedIn Sales Navigator with the Chrome extension, have their SDR, BDR, whoever it is building their list, to have that information translate from LinkedIn to Seamless to Salesforce automatically is a huge efficiency gain, and could potentially set you up so that you and your team spend all of your time selling, prospecting. You actually spend time closing business, right? And you can cut down on your research time tremendously by tying all of these pieces together. So they do all relate to each other for sure, especially when you're working out of Sales Navigator. I think, as Jake already mentioned, this is how we conduct a lot of our searches for our sales and marketing team. We think Sales Navigator is a great product. We don't necessarily have an affiliation or anything. We're not. Nobody's telling us to push this, other than our customers. Our power users are the ones who say this is part of what really broke things open for me and changed my life. It's pro tips like that, right? Taking the different aspects of Seamless.AI, including the Chrome extension and LinkedIn Sales Navigator, for example, and combining their shared resources to grow your business and build the list. It's going to take things to the next level for you. But no, definitely seeing things tie together so far as questions that are coming in, Jake. And it's good to see that we're going to close out on a strong note here with the Sales Navigator experience with the Chrome extension.
Excellent. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you, David, for that. And yeah, just to reiterate that a lot of our really strong, successful power users have seen value in using Sales Navigator and Seamless together. They do have a 30-day free trial, so recommend trying it out if you are somebody who is really looking to find a bulk list of contacts quickly across a lot of different criteria. So I did open up the Sales Navigator data here so you can see the different fields that you have. So within standard LinkedIn, you have about 10 or so different fields. You have 2 to 3x that within Sales Navigator. So a lot of different ways to slice and dice the data and to get to more niche sets of data. And the beauty of Seamless is that we're going to go out and we're going to look for and find contact information for anyone that you can find on Sales Navigator. So we're going to go out, do our best to find that information, research and validate that information for anyone that you find. Yeah, we're right there working with you. So simply load in that contact or load in the search criteria that you have within Sales Navigator. Use any of these fields. It doesn't matter which fields you use. You can use as many or as little fields as you want. And then as soon as you click that search button, Sales Navigator is going to load in all those different contacts. And then as soon as those contacts load in, you're going to see those familiar find buttons, just like you saw in Seamless as well as in the LinkedIn buttons, or the LinkedIn standard. Looks exactly the same and does exactly the same thing, same functionality. So again, click that Find All button. We're going to scroll all the way down. We're going to make sure we load all that good content in there. And then we're going to scroll back up. So in a matter of a few seconds, you're going to have Sales Navigator also gives you 25 contacts on a page at a time. So click that Find All button. I'm scrolling down. I'm automatically getting 25 validated or 25 contacts that Seamless is automatically researching and validating. And as soon as you see that view button, that means it's good to go. It's in your My Contacts. So within less than 5 seconds, I just acquired contact information for 50 contacts in my target market, tagged those, and have those ready to import or export into my CRM or export into a CSV. So it's really as easy as that. Click the Find button. If you can click 2 buttons, you can utilize the Sales Navigator integration, and you can build a big list of, as I mentioned, hundreds to potentially thousands of contacts. The one thing that I do want to call out here before we close out is that you do have a few limitations that I want to call out to make sure that you're staying within the realm of possibilities. So you see here, I have 50,000 total results. What Sales Navigator is going to do is if I scroll down to the bottom, you're going to see 40 is my last page. You're never going to be able to go beyond page 40 in a particular search. So 1,000 contacts is what 25 times 40 equates to. So per search criteria that you're putting in here, per search that you're putting in, you're going to get 1,000 different contacts. So for instance, here I put in the entire United States. If I'm looking for a broad set of titles, I'd recommend doing a single industry by a single state and a single title, and get this number as close as you can to 1,000 or under 1,000 as possible by slicing and dicing this data. You might have to run a few additional searches, but that's going to make sure that you get as much data as possible out of the Seamless plus LinkedIn platform and not leave any on the table. So try to get this number as close as you can to 1,000 or under 1,000 as you can. And then the other thing is LinkedIn does have some trackers in place, and they want to make sure that there's nothing suspicious going on. We're not stealing LinkedIn data. We're not scraping their contact information. All the contact information is coming from the Seamless platform. So you're not going to have much trouble, but you do want to still stay within a certain means of using the platform. So typically within the Sales Navigator environment, that means upwards of 3,000 contacts. So about 500 or so page views. I think that equates to as you're going through and you're getting different contacts. So upwards of 3,000 contacts in a daily period using Sales Navigator is what you can get through Seamless, and then about 1,000 contacts using standard sales. Using standard LinkedIn is what you can get through the Seamless platform. So they do have some limitations to not catch the commercial use limitation flag that you might see if you go ahead and you're all over and you're crawling and you have different bots and stuff running on LinkedIn. That's why they have those in place, to make sure that there's not bots out there going out there and trying to steal information. But you're not doing that. You're using the Seamless integration, but just make sure your usage isn't overly aggressive in a daily period, so that way it doesn't get flagged incorrectly or improperly. So as long as you do that, you can get upwards of a few thousand contacts in a daily period using either the Seamless native platform or the integration with LinkedIn and the Chrome extension, and you will have the ability to get 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, upwards of 50,000 plus contacts in a monthly period, which is millions of contacts in a year, all for the low price that you're playing with the Seamless.AI platform. So really, that is in a nutshell how to use Seamless, how to use Seamless within Sales Navigator and within LinkedIn. And I know we covered a lot of information here, so I will, before we leave, just allude to one more thing around the Help Center. So again, the Help Center is up here in the top right. Click that. I'll give you a little bit of a view of what this looks like. It's categorized and it's organized. You can go into Seamless 101. There's video training. There's advanced search strategies. If you're really hitting it and you want to take it to the next level, we have some pro tips and hacks and things like that will allow you to be super efficient once you kind of get your foundation. Our Q&A and our webinar information. Then you scroll down and you'll see all of our articles here. So there's your quick guides and your user guides, and then your advanced topics and everything like that. So really, we have hundreds of help articles, fully keyword searchable. So come in here, take a look, see what you have, see what we have that's available for you. If you can't find what you're looking for, you can click submit a request, and that'll get you right into our support team. That'll send a support ticket right over there. But then the other option that you have is in the bottom right corner as well. There's the help widget. So this is basically the full function of the Help Center directly within this widget. So it's fully keyword searchable. So say you have questions about CRM integrations, you can type CRM. We're going to give you some opportunities to see those right away. And you'll actually be able to see those directly within the platform. And again, if you're looking for something, you can't find it for whatever reason, click that contact us button. This is also going to submit a help test ticket to be able to provide you with anything that you might need in terms of support from our team, feedback, just to make sure that you're as successful as possible. So this was an overview of how to use the Seamless.ai platform. Really hope this was helpful. We'll go ahead and upload this recording into our Help Center so you can see past recordings of our webinars and demos in our Help Center. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to navigate to our webinar recordings, and you can check those out. We really just appreciate everything that that you guys have done to help us to get to where we are today. We look forward to working alongside of you to continue to build the platform. Myself, David, the rest of our team is really committed to make sure that not only what we have today is a great platform, but what we continue to build in the future. So I really appreciate everyone helping us to grow as we continue to help you to build your pipeline. We're looking forward to building out this platform as successfully as we can. And if you have any questions, certainly let us know. So thanks so much, and we'll be in touch.